today I'm going to be talking to you about the camera that I use for all of my wildlife photography. The Canon 7D Mark II with the 100-400mm lens F4.5-5.6. So I have been lucky enough to have a lot of opportunities photographing wild animals such as foxes, badgers and even red kites. But for today's video we'll take this camera out on a spontaneous trip across the road and we'll just try and get some photos of both still subjects and moving subjects, and we'll see what we can do without any planning, and then we'll come back here, I'll show you those photos and you can see what you think, and after that I will show you some of the best photos I've got with this camera to date, and I've had it for about a year, and yeah, and I think that'll be it. So let's pack the bag and let's get going. I'm just out in the garden at the moment, and I've seen some house sparrows coming down to the pond just in my garden here. So I'm gonna see, at the moment they've actually flown away, so we'll see if they come back, and if they do I'll try and get some shots of them bathing in my pond and see what the camera can do. As soon as I tried to get the cat over for some photos, he done a runner inside. So that's it. I think his plan was to just come out here and ruin my photography session, to be honest with you. Jerry! Jerry! Oh, here he comes. Alright, so we had a little practice with the camera in the garden, a little bit of pet photography, but let's take it out in the field and see what we can do. I'm just walking along the field here on the way over to my local nature reserve, and there's a little house martin or a swallow just flying around on the field out here. Didn't get my camera out quick enough, and then as I was getting my camera out, a buzzard popped out the tree, and I got a couple of photos, but not, I wasn't ready and they weren't very good, but I'll show you anyway. So there you go. That just goes to show you, you should always have your camera out ready and not tucked away in your backpack. Because if I had it out, I could have got a decent shot of two different bird species in the matter of literally both appeared at the same time. So I'm currently on my way over to my local nature reserve, where they have built a new bird watching spot, and actually it's ideal for photography. So I'm thinking we'll go there and we'll test out this awesome camera at that spot and just see how it copes. Let's just quickly have a look at the lake. About this camera is the footage that I'm showing you now, or have shown you already, was actually filmed freehand, and I wasn't using a tripod. And yes, it is shaky, but it's a lot, considering the zoom on this, I'm zoomed in at 400mm, it's a lot more stable than it would be with most other lenses at that length, because it's got that image stabilization, and I find that really helps in all sorts of different situations. I'm trying to be semi-quiet whilst walking through this woodland path, because every other time I've walked down here I've spooked a couple of jays, and they always see me before I see them. then they make a pretty horrendous screeching noise and fly away. I have actually got one photo of a jay from here before, when they were caching acorns during the autumn time, I think it is. They stash acorns in fields in order to have a supply for the winter. And I was lucky enough, one flew right past me and had my camera ready and got the shot. That's another thing about this camera, is a lot of people think you wouldn't want to be carrying something like this around because it's so big and heavy. But to be honest with you, I forget I've even got it half the time. It's really not that bad. When you initially get it, yes, it is, but pretty much it's as light as a feather. Here's another example of a picture I've got previously. It was actually on this plant, which I don't know the name of, but I'll try and find out. And I got what was it? A goldfinch. Yeah, I think goldfinch is what I got. And it turns out that the goldfinch have a specially adapted beak to enable them to actually access within the seeds within the plant. Because if you look, I don't know if you see it, but if you look at this, it's very spiky. So that's actually to prevent birds and other predators getting access to their seeds. So I'm currently approaching the bird watching hide, the outsider hide. I can see a squirrel and I can see a pigeon. It's a good start. Alright, let's set up. Not the right height. Just seen a little robin. Okay, the robin's gone. So far, I haven't got anything. So we actually just had a nuthatch show up on one of the closest feeders to me, and he was on the tree, so it looked natural. It looks like he's just on the tree in the photo. Yeah, let's see if I can show you that quick. Enough footage and photographs now of both moving and I tried to get moving shots, and I've definitely got some stills. So I think what I'll do now is I'll hang around here for maybe 5-10 more minutes, and then we'll start the journey back home. It's time to go now. Pretty good considering. That bird feeding station is actually in the woodland where it's really dark, so even in the it's midday at the moment, and even so I was having to put my ISO up to 8,000. It's time for me to head back. So I'm back home now, and I think that pretty much wraps up the video. So just in the comments down below, just let me know what camera you use at the moment, what type of photography you're into, and whether or not you're thinking about getting into wildlife photography. I hope what I've shown you with this camera has helped in some way, and if you've enjoyed it, please do like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.